Thank you for giving me your ear and listening to your heart. I'm going to start tonight with a little song. This is just created just now, this song, and I'm going to explain the song as we go along. There is no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear. And you who want peace, find it only by complete forgiveness. Find it only by complete forgiveness. Find it only by complete forgiveness. Tonight we're going to continue reading chapter 1 of A Course in Miracles. The meaning of miracles is the name of the chapter. We're going to do section 6, which is called the illusion of needs. And the illusion of needs starts with that line that I was just singing. Let's read it. You who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. No learning is acquired by anyone unless he wants to learn it and believes in some way that he needs it. While lack does not exist in the creation of God, it is very apparent in what you have made. It is, in fact, the essential difference between them. Lack implies that you would be better off in a state somehow different from the one you are in, until the, quote, separation, unquote, which is the meaning of the quote unquote fall, nothing was lacking. There were no needs at all. Needs arise only when you deprive yourself. You act according to the particular order of needs you establish. This in turn depends on your perception of what you are. A sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. This sense of separation would never have arisen if you had not distorted your perception of truth and had thus perceived yourself as lacking. The idea of order of needs arose because, having made this fundamental error, you had already fragmented yourself into levels with different needs. As you integrate, you become one, and your needs become one accordingly. Unified needs lead to unified action because this produces a lack of conflict. The idea of orders of need, which follows from the original error that one can be separated from God, requires correction at its own level before the error of perceiving levels at all can be corrected. You cannot behave effectively while you function on different levels. However, while you do, correction must be introduced vertically from the bottom up. This is because you think you live in space where concepts such as up and down are meaningful. Ultimately, space is as meaningless as time. Both are merely beliefs. The real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. You can never control the effects of fear yourself because you made fear and you believe in what you made. In attitude then, though not in content, you resemble your Creator, who has perfect faith in his creations because he created them. Belief produces the acceptance of existence. That is why you can believe what no one else thinks is true. It is true for you because it was made by you. All aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the creative level and therefore do not exist at all. To whatever extent you are willing to submit your beliefs to this test, to that extent are your perceptions corrected. In sorting out the false from the true, the miracle proceeds along these lines. Perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But only perfect love exists if there is fear. It produces a state that does not exist. Believe this and you will be free. Only God can establish this solution, and this faith is his gift. Okay, let's talk a bit about this amazing section here. It actually starts with talking about forgiveness, which really was not discussed too much before this point in the text. The miracle principles, I'm going to read a couple of the miracle principles that talk about forgiveness. Miracle principle 21, I believe, is the first time that forgiveness is mentioned. Miracles are natural signs of forgiveness. Through miracles, you accept God's forgiveness by extending it to others. And then the other one, there's not actually too many miracle principles that even talk about forgiveness, which you would think, because most people think of the Course as teaching all about forgiveness, and it's really not mentioned a whole lot here at the beginning, including in the miracle principles. The other miracle principle, 25, says, miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness, which when completed is the atonement. Atonement works all the time and in all dimensions of time. It's very powerful statements. Let's read 21 again. 21, miracles are natural signs of forgiveness. Through miracles, you accept God's forgiveness by extending it to others. On the ultimate level, God does not forgive because God has never judged. This is talking, though, about the miracle and our job in being the creations of a loving Creator who does not judge. We practice forgiveness, and forgiveness is essentially, I'm going to read one other miracle principle. Forgiveness is essentially loving your neighbor as yourself. Miracle principle, let's see. Sorry. I lost it. There is a miracle principle that talks about, wow, we lost it. Here it is. A miracle, this is miracle principle 18. A miracle is a service. It is the maximal service you can render to another. It is a way of loving your neighbor as yourself. You recognize your own and your neighbor's worth simultaneously. This is a restatement of the Golden Rule. Golden Rule, again, and we've talked about it before. The Golden Rule is do unto others as you would have them do to you. Sometimes it's expressed negatively in the sense of don't do to others as you would not want done to yourself. But Jesus here is saying, love thy neighbor as thyself, which is actually in the Hebrew Bible, in the Old Testament, I believe it's in Leviticus, love thy neighbor as thyself, which is actually closer to the Golden Rule as Jesus is presenting it here. Seeing your neighbor as love as you are, as you would like to be seen, as you truly are. So you who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. Now, Jesus says that here, and then he apparently doesn't really explain what that means. What does complete forgiveness mean? That gets explained more, but he does talk about lack, and we have a feeling of deprivation, of lack, and that has been ever since the quote-unquote fall. There's a great line, I think, that's coming up in the text, which is the Bible says that a deep sleep fell upon Adam, and nowhere does it say that Adam ever woke up, meaning that the Son of God, so to speak, is still sleeping and dreaming a dream, and we're all part of this dream, this cosmic dream, until we make the decision to wake up from the dream. Another great line here is, a sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. It's the only thing really that is important. As Jesus said in the Gospels, or was supposed to have said, seek first the kingdom of heaven and all else shall be added to you. So when we think about what we don't have and what we're lacking, if we could just turn it all around and say, I actually lack nothing. I have love, and that's all I need. And I am, if we had that understanding of ourselves as love, then we would know that we really truly do not need anything. Simple, very simple, but not easy. Now, the other thing to say that I want to mention, which Jesus talks about here, I'm not going to read it, but when we when we practice the Course and we start to live more and more in that awareness of that we are love, and we are choosing to see everyone as love, loving our neighbor as ourself. What happens is we start to live in love more and more, and we fall out of that less and less. And we don't, we're not so wavering and back and forth, which really, if you look at your life, I look at my life, we tend to all be in the drama and the roller coaster of life. We go up, we go down, all around, and very seldom are we able to be for very long in that stable state of the awareness of love, including myself, I will say. But I've seen a very big difference over the years through doing, not only working with the Course, but other things as well. But now it's mainly the Course. Space and time are illusions. They don't really exist in reality. But we need to think in terms of space and time right now, because that is our reality, and we can't deny that. Here's another great line, that is definitely worth pondering and keeping close to heart, which is, the real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. The real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. It's very, there's a lot to that statement. Jesus kind of explains it in what follows, but I mean, he does explain it, but it's hard to understand. But essentially the idea, well, one thing that we need to bring up is the distinction the Course makes between the creation, that God is love, and God as love can only create love, and love is all that truly is. Love is all that exists in reality. There is nothing other than love, and there's nothing outside of love. There's only love, which begs the question of what love is. And the Course does not actually try to tell you what love is. It actually only is getting at what is not love, and helping us to see what is not of love. Although, there are, we all know what love is. Let's put it this way. We all know what love is. We already know what love is. And it's just, the Course is just reminding us of what we need to let go of in order to live in love. So God, there's creation, and then there's there is making. We make things. We you know we make fear, essentially, and we believe in fear, and we believe that our fearful thoughts are true, and they're truly not. All aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the creative level and therefore do not exist at all. And all we need to do is start to look at our fear and start to look at it in the light of love. And Jesus gives us another syllogism. Remember that syllogism. A syllogism is basically a three lines. Like the classic is all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. In the Course, we have a number of syllogisms. Apparently, the syllogisms were for Helen, the scribe of the Course, who was very logical, and she appreciated the syllogisms. So Jesus would present these, like spirit is in a state of grace forever. Our reality is only spirit. Therefore, we are in a state of grace forever. Here, the syllogism, there's two that are connected. Perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. I'm not sure if this is actually a pure syllogism here, but I have to look into that a little bit. But it's basically making the statement that, and by the way, this is based on a verse in John. Let me actually read that verse. Let me give me 1 second. I'm just going to get the Bible over here. Here we go. It's John chapter 4:18. Let's find it. John chapter 4:18. It says, no, maybe not. I'll have to find it. I thought I had it here. Let me see. Anyway, somewhere here, Jesus says, perfect love casts out fear. The same thing is in the Course. The Course, it's actually one of the places in the Course which is basically just quoting the King James Bible. It's not correcting it per se. It's merely quoting it. Perfect love casts out fear. But then it just makes it a little bit even more clear by saying, if there is any fear, then there is not perfect love. So if you aspire to being in that perfect love, you have to overcome fear. You have to go beyond fear. And in a sense, no one here could really do that completely, but we can have a glimpse, which is revelation, which is a momentary being able to momentarily transcend the body and the world, and to realize that. Most of the time we cannot do that. It's just how things are set up and the way the ego works. Let's see. I just want to think if there's anything else really essential to say. I was going to read, let's see how long it is. Yeah, it's a little long. I'll read it another time. But I did have something else that I wanted to share that I'm just forgetting for a moment. Perfect love casts out fear. Again, you know, there's love, which is all encompassing. There's only love. Fear does not exist. But in our dualistic, you could say, reality, quote unquote reality, fear is very powerful. In fact, it's more powerful, you could say, than love. As that song, I love that song by the Black Eyed Peas, which is Where's the Love? You know, if you look around in the world, there is so much suffering, pain and suffering and horror and all the other things. And it seems as if true unconditional love is very, very rare in this world. And I think that what the Course is helping us to do is to make peace with that and to realize why that is, and realize that we ourselves can free ourselves from suffering. And in doing that, we help others to free themselves as well. So thank you so much for listening. I want to add one other thing, which is that song at the beginning was actually combining the verse in John with the Course, and yeah, it just came tonight as I was thinking about how to present this. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe if you want to. It definitely helps. And I would love your feedback, so please leave a comment if you'd like, and reach out anytime as well. Thank you, and see you soon again.